Hi, Mandar, and our next session is with Dr. Mandar Gadre, who has, made Gadar on in the literary segment of India, and especially the Marathi reading, diaspora, with his latest book, Adhunik Bhasmasur. So, what is the book about? We are going to talk, with Mandar in this session. And let's keep it in English and Hindi for more people to understand because a lot of people will understand Hindi and also people who speak Marathi, because we are talking about a Marathi book here. So we will try to keep it very relevant. तो मंदार बहुत स्वागत है आपका ये सेशन में और मेटाबॉलिक हेल्थ कॉन्फ्रेंस का थर्ड सीजन है और ये इतने सारे डॉक्टर्स उसमें आप भी एक डॉक्टर हैं और न सिर्फ आप एक आईआईटी फ्रॉम बॉम्बे हैं बट आप यूएस में जाके वापस आ गए एंड देन यू आर आल्सो अ प्रैक्टिसिंग मेटाबॉलिक हेल्थ कोच एंड वन ऑफ द टॉप नेम्स इन इंडिया who comes with a huge credibility. And you wrote this book, Mandar, Adhunik Bhasmasur in Marathi. Why did you write this book? I mean, you are not a doctor. I'm sure people would ask you that. But then what has a doctor got to do with nutrition? So please
Yes.
carry that thought forward.
Oh, definitely. Thanks, Ira, and excited to be here at MHC3. So yeah, I get that question a lot. That hey, you're not a doctor. What business do you have writing a book on health, disease, and nutrition? So I think my thought process started several years back. I've been always curious about biology, but when I really found D-Life, I got the real formula of putting chronic diseases in reverse and in remission. And then what I realized was all the advice that we were bombarded with, right, was all given in terms of either anecdotes or just quoting some guidelines or even fear. Thousands and millions of people are doing this, and why do you want to do the opposite, etc. Right now, as an engineer, as a scientist, I don't quite understand this way of explaining. Right? I mean, what I understand is first principle thinking, which means you start from the very foundations of that field and slowly put brick by brick all the conceptual framework. So I sort of wanted to put forth this thought and build it in a framework where we won't be using either anecdotes or any new shining studies or guidelines or even topics outside of health and disease and nutrition, right? So by using only first principles, how do you tackle this? How do you explain it to somebody? And when I sort of first tried it on a few people during several sessions, they sort of took to that. And then this idea was born that, hey, why not put this into a book? And that actually made me write this book. And I have one copy sitting here.
Yes, please hold it up. And I think, Mandar, you should hold it up. This book is available on Amazon as well. And below this session, if in the comment section, probably Mandar will go and put a link to the book and from where they can buy once this session is uploaded on YouTube, on the D-Life channel and Metabolic Health India channel. So once you write and ask for the link, Mandar will give you the link right under this video. So it's easier for you to buy. Yeah, please continue.
Definitely. So yeah, it's an attempt to create that sort of an understanding, and not just of nutrition, but in fact, first almost half of the book or more than that, we spend in understanding how evolution has shaped our body in a specific way. It has not evolved in some random set of conditions, right? It has specifically evolved to not just tolerate but survive and thrive in an environment of scarcity of nutrients. And then those defense mechanisms, they make our body work in a certain way, right? And then now we unfortunately live in a very different environment, which is an environment of abundance. So this problem of plenty, as we call it, has got us into this situation of chronic disease. So we in this book, I've tried to sort of help people understand this journey of human evolution, why our body does what it is doing, and what is the root cause of many of these diseases, and then finally, of course, how to use nutrition as one of the tools and one of the main tools to address these. So, but that was the motivation.
Yeah, Mandar, coming from your experience of even having doctors as your client and coming from your experience of, being a D-Life mentor that has 48 doctors, mainstream doctors, homeopathic doctors, and all enroll into the course, I think you quite justify writing this book because, of course, you are addressing the Marathi audience there, but you are an authority on nutrition and low carb nutrition in particular. So while you were writing this book, what was your goal while writing this book, and who is it addressed to? I mean, I know that it is in Marathi, but who all should be reading this book, and why should they buy this book at all?
Perfect. Yeah. Actually, I had all those people in almost every household in India who are suffering from any chronic disease, right? It could be type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, PCOD, fatty liver, heart disease, even Alzheimer's, even chronic kidney disease, and even long term obesity. Since I run a fitness studio in Pune along with my wife, so we get a lot of people who come to us to, drop some kilos, but then we help them understand the foundations of this, right? So actually, it's my desire to get this book also into English, and I'm going to work on that translation very soon. And I hope that it reaches many folks. Any of them, either they want to prevent any of these chronic conditions or they want to put them into remission. So I'm hoping to help all of them. And of course, I must say this that I'm after all a messenger. I've learned a lot from Anu, from Ira, Shashi, all of you, and I've simply tried to sort of boil it down to some of the basics and getting it across to people. So when I sort of write this, I know that all the blessings and support and love and encouragement of all of Delay is standing right with me. So it's not. It may appear that my name is there as an author on the book, but actually, all of us are right there, and that's why I have very proudly mentioned about all three of you, and some very interesting punchlines by Anup, Shashi, and Ira. So it was fun writing that section as well.
Yeah, and such a huge gap existed in this Marathi segment as far as low carb, nutrition and reversing chronic diseases is concerned. That Mandar's book, as soon as it was released, I mean, it has already become a bestseller. Mandar, बताइए इसके बारे में लोगों को. It's not just any other book. If you just get hold of this, it is your mantra or your small guide to better health. So talk about this when you talk about who should be buying this book and why they should be buying it. What are they going to get in this book?
Perfect. So, so when we brought it out in the middle of December, I'm happy to say that in these 2 months, we have essentially sold out the first edition altogether. I just got intimation from our publisher that roughly just 40 or 50 copies are now left out of the 1,000 that we printed. So that's a huge response, and I'm quite thankful for that from all the readers. See, what is happening is that we are hearing all kinds of advice, but we don't quite know, and the general public doesn't quite know if it applies to them, if it will work for them, is it sustainable, is it even correct? Because there is all kinds of information available right now, which a lot of times it's contradictory, it's confusing, right? It's not told to us by explaining the foundational biology. It comes in terms of claims, right? So what I wanted to do was to get away from all of that, and just like in many other fields, when we establish the fundamentals first and then give the guidance, I wanted to sort of do that, without resorting to any of what is popularly accepted or showing sort of somebody's example or anecdotes, anything like that. So it's going to come out in English and then hopefully in other languages as well. So people will definitely benefit from it. And the gap that you speak of is exactly this, that we sort of have been given quick fixes or some popular titles or notions of how to address these diseases. But people have tried to optimize one thing and then gone and wrecked something else in their body, in their health. So how to look at all of this in totality is really the point. And when we look at them through the correct lens, which is the evolutionary biology of metabolic health, when we do that, I think a lot of concepts fall in place. So actually what I'm doing is I'm trying to share my joy of having learned this and trying to get it to anybody, any people from any profession or any age, any phase of their life. I think I wrote it as an interesting commentary and structure of understanding this biology of diseases.
Yeah, Mandar, the book holds a lot of credibility coming from from you. You are an IITian yourself, and you've worked in the US, and very very glorious kind of background that the book is coming from. So it has a lot of credibility. When is the English and Hindi version coming out? That is question number one. And first continue with this, and then probably I'll ask my next question.
Yeah. So I think it has to be this year because there is a lot of demand for English as well as Hindi version, and I think there are many folks who have expressed their desire to work with me on translations into other Indian languages as well, which I don't know. So I'll need a lot of help and support from all of us at D Life. Yes.
Yeah, so I think we can expect the book this year.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So people who want to buy the book, it's available on Amazon, and you can click the search for Adhunik Bhasmasur. When these videos are uploaded on the D Life channel and the Metabolic Health India channel, Mandar is going to leave a link of the book under the videos, so you can click and buy them directly from the publisher as well. Mandar, would you want to read an excerpt from the book itself that probably can uh, prompt people who are watching this to go and buy the book?
Right, right. So, just a couple of things, and I'll sort of explain them in English for the ease of everybody listening. So, one of the things that people sort of think is that, oh, they have gotten the advice, but they just don't follow. So, a lot of times I do tell them that you will be amazed at how devoid of logic and foundational biology the mainstream advice has been. And I give them the analogy that you are great drivers, but the GPS in your car has been faulty. All I'm really trying to do is give you the right GPS. I have full confidence in your driving. That's not what is at fault. Because if 95% students in a class fail, then the blame lies with the teacher. So we have to understand that where these guidelines have gone, astray. And when we understand the biology, then that happens. And the second thing I will mention as one of the points which I've said here is that we have been told to track food, or in terms of calories, or portion control, and have small 6 meals throughout the day, etc. See, our perspective of looking at the body itself is somewhere wrong. We are trying to look through a lens of deprivation and not nourishment. So when we actually learn to nourish the body, it has the wisdom to heal itself. It's not difficult in that sense if you know how to do it, or if you work with the right coach, which now D Life has blessed all of us with training so many excellent coaches, right? So if you know how to do that, your body has all the wisdom. So let us actually give that respect which is due to our bodies. Let us understand the biology. Let us understand how they work, and just help them heal, and they know how to do that on their own. If we just get out of their way, right? So that's my main message.
Brilliant book and brilliant summary, Mandar. And I know that people who have bought the book have given raving reviews about the book. So how was your experience? I mean, just to sum it up, we have 3 minutes left. And how was your experience as a first-time author? And then to have your book in the Pune book Mela, where people came to get your autograph. And how was that entire feeling?
Yeah, absolutely surreal. I think that's how I would describe it. I never imagined that as an engineer, an entrepreneur, I would write a book on health, and that would be my first book. Yeah, absolute, great response from the readers. A lot of people messaged me saying that once I started reading it, I essentially finished it in a day or two. There are people who read it because of health reasons. They called me to discuss more with me. Some of them started doing some changes in their lifestyle, in their nutrition, by adopting some of the tips given. And then some people who simply like to read, they even told me that it was a fantastic read. So yeah, absolutely overwhelming. I think I still don't really know how to feel about it, how to think about it. But yeah, I think the work is cut out next. We'll quickly work on some minor corrections for the second edition, as well as get it translated into English and Hindi. Definitely 2025, those two will see the light of the day.
Mandar, we are so proud of you. Everybody at D Live wishes you all the best. You're such a pride to, associate with. And the work that you're doing is commendable. It's wonderful. And now the book is out. Mandar also has been named as one of the, I think, in the top 5 influential, metabolic health coaches or health coaches in Pune. And he has a fitness studio. Mandar, would you want people to know your fitness studio so that they can get in touch with you?
Oh, sure. Yeah. For those of you who are in Pune, we run a fitness studio called as Fit Holic Personal Fitness Studio. It's in Kothurud. Yeah, just hit me up. I'll be happy to meet and talk to you more about that as well.
Yeah, so you have a fitness studio. Mandar is a certified D Life certified metabolic health practitioner. He also has a book. He's also on Twitter and approachable on all social media. And more, a very interesting fact about Mandar is his wife is a sleep specialist who's a mainstream doctor, Dr. Amrita Bedekar, and she's also featuring in this, Metabolic Health Conference 3. She has a session on sleep and food hosted by Sandesh Bhatt on day 3, 4:15 p.m. So please mark your calendars if you have kids, if you have babies around. And Mandar Gadre and Amrita Bedekar, Dr. Amrita Bedekar, are making a lot of change in the metabolic health space in India, in Pune particularly. So go, get in touch with them. Mandar, thank you so much for coming over and for